So now we're going to test the single microphone and we're going to make some sounds with a book.
Hello everyone, on this video we're going to show you how you can record ASMR videos with great sound. Video quality on ASMR videos is very important, but what's even more crucial is the actual sound recording. Next to me, I have Iro, who is a videographer and video editor and works with ASMR artists, and she's going to help us with some ASMR sounds today, right?
That's right. Hello guys! As Dom said, when you're an ASMR artist, it's very important to record your audio properly straight from the source. And this will save you time in post-production and when you're doing your video editing, of course. So in this video, we will show you how to record an ASMR video if you only have one microphone, how to record using two microphones for a stereo recording and a more immersive sound experience, and of course, how to edit your audio so that it sounds amazing.
Sounds good. If you could share some tips with any ASMR artists out there that they would like to record their sound as good as possible, what would those be?
Okay, so it's always a good idea to choose and do your recordings or your filmings in the most quiet room of your house. Always choose the most silent room. It's always working, of course, if you're doing your recordings and your filmings during the night, for obvious reasons.
Because it's quieter, right?
Of course. And it's also a good idea to always invest in a good quality microphone, even two microphones if you're gonna go for the two microphones recording setup. Yeah. Another thing I would recommend when it comes to editing is to avoid hard cuts because it's not pleasant.
Right, of course.
And use crossfades a lot. This I find it helps.
It's more smooth.
Yeah.
Of course. So what I would say is, should we start with a single microphone?
Sure, let's start
Quite a
this
few
way.
ASMR artists record their sound with a single microphone. And I think it's the easiest setup. So Iro, when you're recording and filming an ASMR artist, what is your setup video-wise and audio-wise?
Right. So what I tend to do is to record the audio from the camera as well, but this is only for synchronization purposes. I'm not actually using this audio. And then I record the audio separately, most of the times with an audio interface, and that's the audio I use for the final video.
And of course, because that's the good quality that you need for ASMR videos, because sometimes they're really intimate and there are some really quiet sounds. So the most important thing is to have really high quality preamps. Otherwise, when you try to record those really quiet sounds, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a lot of noise that's coming from your actual preamps. So that's why an audio interface comes in handy, and especially something like the UR22C that has the deep rear preamps that you can find on high-end Yamaha consoles. These are really high quality, really quiet preamps, so you can crank them up and they still sound really clean. So how do you actually start recording? First of all, you have to install the drivers for your UR22C. If you're on a Mac, if you're on a PC, on the iPad, you don't need any drivers, it's plug and play. But when you install the drivers, that means that your audio interface will be able to communicate with Cubase AI that's also included. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how you can set everything up. It's actually very simple. So once you launch Cubase AI, you will find this dialog. So here we have quite a few things, mastering, production. What you care about is the recording tab here. And as you can see, when you install the drivers, you will have these templates. For ASMR, a great starting template is the Steinberg UR22C stereo recording template. Let's click on that. Let's create a folder. Let's call it ASMR and hit create. So now Cubase AI creates a project for us where we can start recording straight away. So let me show you how it works. As you can see, we already have a stereo channel here. That means that we can record two microphones actually. But in this case, we want to record just one microphone. Before I go any further, let me explain how you should set up your Cubase AI with a UR22C. Most of the times when you install Cubase AI and you launch it for the first time, it will ask you if you want to use the UR22C as the audio interface. In this case, you will say yes. In case yours is not set up, all you need to do is go to Studio Setup, and then you go to your VST audio system and select the UR22C as the ASIO driver. Hit OK and you're good to go. Now you can use the template that I just showed you. As I said, we have a stereo channel here, right? So in this case, we would record two microphones, like I guess many ASMR artists do. But let's say we want to record just one single mic that we have right here. Let me show you how you do this. This is a stereo channel and this is already pre-made for you from the template. But let's say we want to create a mono channel because we're going to record just a single microphone. So it should be mono. So all you need to do is hit plus, select audio, and now we need to select an input. This is not too complicated. It's actually these two inputs that you see right here in the front of the UR22C. So we have input number one, which is this one, and input number two, which is this one. Okay, so let's say I want to record on this input. I'm going to select input number one, and let's call it single mic. We want it to be mono. Let's hit add track. So now we have a single mic and we're good to go. But before we go ahead and record, we of course need to connect our microphone. So we need to plug our microphone into input number one that we just selected. So this specific microphone is a condenser microphone. This is the ST-M01 that's included in the UR22C recording pack. And this means we have to power it using 48 volt phantom power. This is a switch in the back of the unit, so we can turn it on. And as you can see, even in the software, the 48 volt indication lights up, and that means we can start recording. So now as you can see, we can check out our levels for our microphone. We might want to clean up the low end a little bit, so we have a high pass filter, and we can also add effects. We can add the morphing channel strip, and this will give us some interesting sounds. So now Iro is going to give it a try, and as you can see, she's using this device right here. This is called a pop filter, and this will allow you to avoid plosive sounds like P's, like F's, these really annoying sounds when you're very up close to the microphone. And for ASMR, that's really crucial because you're going to be very close to the mic to do all those whispering sounds, correct?
Correct.
So let's try and get some level for your voice.
Hello guys, this is an ASMR test. We're checking the levels of the sound. What do you think? How does it sound? Is it any good? What do you think?
That sounds really nice. And as you can see, we can check our levels right here, but we can also check them in the inspector of Cubase AI. So you want to aim for around -6 because ASMR is very dynamic, right? So you might have some really quiet sounds and then you might have some other sounds that are a little bit louder. So you want to make sure you have enough headroom. You don't want to go near 0, okay? This is digital clipping, which will not sound pleasant. And we're looking for pleasant sounds in ASMR. Now, another very important thing, if you want to monitor your sound on headphones, which as far as I know, quite a few ASMR artists do, they do wear headphones on the videos, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you.
Not really.
Okay, so if you want to monitor your sound while you're doing ASMR, this might be very helpful. So you can go to Studio Setup, and it's very easy to monitor your inputs of your UR22C through Cubase AI. All you need to do is go to your studio setup, you select direct monitoring, and this way we can activate our monitoring through Cubase AI. So right now we can't hear anything, but if I activate it,
Hello guys, how does it sound now?
and then we can turn it off very, very easily. An alternative way to do this if you don't activate direct monitoring is to do it using the DSP mix effects for your UR22C. Here you can set up your levels right here. You can set up your monitoring, which is really, really cool. So why don't we go ahead and record something? What do you think? Maybe a little bit of whispering, something like that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Sounds great. So we've set up our track. We're going to activate monitoring. Maybe you want to wear the headphones as well, Iro? So basically what we would do is we would start our camera and then we would also start our recording inside Cubase AI, correct?
That's right.
So all we need to do is just record enable our channel and then monitor so that Iro can hear in her headphones what she's doing. Let's color it as well. Let's make it purple. And then all we need to do is hit record.
Hello guys, this is a test for an ASMR video. We are going to check the sound for one single microphone. And we're going to go closer for a more intimate sound like this, or you can go even further back for a different type of sound. Which one you like the most? What do you think?
Great. So now we can turn off the monitoring button so that we can go back and hear what we just recorded.
Hello guys, this is a test for an ASMR video. We are going to check the sound for one single microphone. And we're going to go closer for a more intimate.
So as you can hear, Eero says that you can go closer to the mic to get a more intimate sound. What she's taking advantage of is the proximity effect of the microphone. So if you go closer, you get a little bit more low end, a little bit more definition for the consonants. So that's really, really important for ASMR recordings. So Eero, should we try and record some sounds with just one single microphone, and then we can set up two microphones and compare the sound?
Yeah, sure, we can do the sound now.
Fantastic. So we'll let you do your thing, and we'll record with just this single microphone this time.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we're going to test the single microphone and we're going to make some sounds with a book. So let's see how that sounds like. Okay, and now let's try some crinkly sounds with a chips bag. Okay, now the sound is clipping, so we need to turn our gain down a little bit. Let's try again now.
Now let's move on to a second way of recording ASMR videos, and that's with multiple microphones. Most of the times it's two, like we have right here. We have two microphones. This will give you a very immersive sound. This will give you a little bit of spatialization because the sound is going to be different for your left and right channels. So it sounds like the sound is embracing you. So in order to do this, we're going to do the exact same thing with our Cubase AI. We're going to open our UR22C stereo recording template. Let's call it ASMR stereo. We're going to hit create and we're actually good to go. I'm going to call this stereo mic. And it's actually not a stereo mic, we have two microphones. But because we're going to use both the preamps on the UR22C and we're going to record in a single stereo channel, that means that this stereo channel will include the sound from both the microphones. And they're going to be placed left and right, like they should be. So you don't have to do anything in post. So let's do just that. We have the left microphone and we're going to connect it to input 1. Okay, this is going to be our left inputs. We're going to connect the second microphone, which uses this orange cable, just color coding, and we're going to connect it to input number 2 in the UR22C. Now, all we need to do is we need to activate phantom power again, of course. Don't forget to always turn off phantom power when you're connecting and disconnecting your cables, right? Now, as you can see, we have a little bit of a difference in level when it comes to the left and right channel. So now I'm going to ask Eero to speak in between the microphones so we can get a right level. I'm going to activate monitoring and we're going to try and get our levels.
Hello, this is the test for the two microphones. Tom is taking the levels right now. So what do you think, Tom? Is it good now? Left and right should be almost the same, right? What do you think?
Exactly. So we aim to get the levels of the left and right channel as close as possible when Eero is in the center of the microphones, in between the microphones. And of course, we use the gain level on the UR22C. Most of the times, if you match the level, it should be fine. But if you use microphones that do not match, maybe they're not the same model, then you should take care of this visually as well. You should check your levels here and make sure they're as close as possible. They will always have a little bit of difference because they're placed in a different way. So let's try it again.
Hello again. So let's check how this is going to be like. Do you think with the two microphones microphones is going to sound better. Maybe you're gonna go for one microphone in the end. What do you think? What is going to be the best? So this is the recording with the two microphones. It's always nice and playful if you go from the one side to the other. It sounds like I'm closer to your left ear or to your right ear. So what do you think? Is it any good?
So as you can see, we just recorded a stereo file this time, and this is our left channel and this is our right channel, and they're both in one single container, which is a stereo file. And of course, now we can move this across, we can edit it, we can process it. I'm going to show you all these things later on. And don't forget to play with the positioning of the mics. Eero is going to do this a little bit later, but you can use a stand like we have right here, so you can place the microphones a little bit far apart, or you can use a 90 degrees angle so that you can do a stereo recording, or you can place them with two stands very far apart, and this will give you a very different sound. So Eero is going to try all these things right now.
Perfect, let's do it.
And now let's do the test with the two microphones. As you can see, you can hear me from the left and from the right. Let's do a test with the book. So as you can see, in this case, we're not using a pop filter anymore. We are using a foam shield. However, we still need to be very careful with our plosives, because foam shields are not as good as pop filters.
So now let's talk a little bit about editing. Here are the recordings that Eero just made with the two microphones. As you can see, it's a stereo file, and you can see it's a very dynamic recording. We have quiet passages, we have really loud sounds, and this is all in one recording. One thing that I would suggest is that you don't use things like compression too much or maybe gate, because by using this you might lose the impact of these ASMR sounds. So instead I would try and use some gain for every different section. For example, let's say we want to go here. Maybe we want to keep this passage the way it is, but maybe we want to also make sure that this doesn't clip. So in this case, what we can do is we can grab our scissors tool and cut right here. Now you will see that we have some steps. The cursor doesn't move freely. In this case, I can just deactivate my snap, and here I can move freely and cut wherever I want. For ASMR videos, this is better turned off. So let's go here and cut this section, which is really loud, and this one right here, and maybe this one right here. So now I can grab my object selection tool, and now I can start making this section louder. See, like that. And if I want a bit more precision, I can go here to my volume and go and add a little bit more volume right there, maybe 10 dBs. And this I can leave unaffected. Let's go to this one, add a little bit of volume there. And this probably needs to go, so maybe I can just erase this section. So let's listen to what we have right now. So now maybe this sound is a little bit too loud. I can just go here and I can grab my scissors tool, go like this, cut, and now I can get my object selection tool and just tame this a little bit. Maybe this specific one I want to tame separately. So this is what you want to do when you're editing the audio for your ASMR videos if you want to have the ultimate quality. So let's grab our object selection tool and make it a little bit quieter so that it doesn't scare us so much. Much better. So then if you want to have a quick way to bring your sounds to the right level, you can just select all your audio events and then go Audio, Processes, Normalize. And then what you can do, you can say, I want to normalize this to -1 dB. And as you can see, it happens in real time. So then maybe if I want to enhance my sound, I can press the Edit Channel Settings button here and maybe add some EQ. Maybe a high pass filter, and maybe we can add some top end. The high pass filter allows us to get rid of any unwanted rumble and low frequencies that may not sound very good. And adding a little bit of top end may allow some nuances to come through a little bit more. Now it goes without saying that you can also import video files into Cubase AI and edit your audio while you're watching the video. Let's do that right now. You go import video file and let's import Eros movie here. And as you can see, now I also have the video file inside my Cubase AI. So let's play it. Now, when you've done all your editings, the only thing you have to do is select your audio, the entire length that you want to export, and then we will hit P on our keyboard so we set our left and right locators automatically. And then we go File, Export, Audio Mix Down, and now we can export the audio with the treated sound so we can import it into our video editing software. The best way to do this is choose WAV as your file type. Sample rate, it depends on what you record it on, so most of the times it's going to be 48, and your bit depth, 24-bit is great. So we hit export, and that's it. Now we can take our audio file and import it into our video editing software. So Eero, thank you so much for recording all those beautiful sounds for us today.
worries.
I have to admit, I almost fell asleep. Really relaxing. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and we hope this video helps you get the best sound possible for your ASMR videos.
Thank you so much for watching and have fun.
Bye-bye.